Hello everybody and welcome back to LELB Society. This is Dr. Hariri, the founder of LELB Society, and this time I'm going to give a presentation or lecture on one of the models of curriculum development, which is referred to as Tyler's ends means model. And so Robert Tyler's ends means model in curriculum development, particularly in the domain of SLA or second language acquisition. And I'm the author of this article, and I'm going to give you or share with you the link to this article in the description area so that you could study this article in more depth. And also you could get your work and articles published in your own name. We have 23 authors and contributors at the LELB Society. Okay, so Tyler's ends means model. Ends means model has been widely adopted in language teaching from the 1980s. It has been described as the ends means model because it starts with a determination of the kinds of language skills the learner needs in order to accomplish specific roles and tasks, and then sets out to teach the language needed to get there. Richards, 2001. According to Auerbach, I don't know how to pronounce some of the technical, some of the proper names or names of the scholars, 1995, in the ends means model, curriculum development is driven at all stages by experts who are external to the process of educating the target population. Competencies, skills, and information are defined by independent research. Materials are written by developers who are in touch with the experts. Assessment guidelines and measurable outcomes flow naturally from this deductive corpus. Okay, at the tail end of this process, the teacher is handed a syllabus, and remember, if you just click on the hyperlinks, you will be directed or redirected to some relevant articles and posts, and a set of materials, and instructed to impart this knowledge to their eagerly awaiting students. That any learner at all occurs in this process is a tribute to the motivation and creativity of the teachers and students who, in Auerbach's view, are actually battling great odds to produce any real results. The value of teaching discrete reading skills is controversial, but course books continue to provide activities designed to nurture these skills. Nuttall, 1985, as cited in Tomlinson, 2003, in her review of reading materials, says, quote, "That is possible to promote reading skills and strategies is still largely a matter of faith, but the number of materials produced show that it is a faith widely held." End quote, page 199. According to Willis and Willis, 1996, there are two aspects of the teaching of skills. Students need to practice in the classroom the things they will need to do with the language outside the classroom. The competency pattern is characterized by the application of what is commonly termed an ends means model, popularized by Robert Tyler in the 1950s. Objectives, the ends of instruction, are first identified. The content of instruction is selected to address the objectives, and the various instructional elements, the means, are then designed to assist students in attaining the objectives. This is a characteristic also shared with the academic rationalist design pattern, Hirschbach, 1992. Okay, in the field of curriculum studies, the approach was sometimes reduced to a mechanistic set of procedures and rules known as systems design model. And what is systems design model? A system in this context is, quote, an integrated plan of operation of all components, subsystems of a system designed to solve a problem or meet a need, end quote. Briggs, 1975, page 2, as cited in Richards, 2001. The systems model belongs to an approach to educational planning that sees curriculum development as a rational and somewhat technical process. Rogers, 1989, page 27, as cited in Richards 23, 2001, observes, so the whole paragraph is a quotation, the curricular system design model has been prescriptive and rule-driven. It describes a linear sequence of events comprising formulation of objectives, selection of content, task analysis, design of learning activities, definition of behavioral outcomes, and evaluative measures of determining the achievement or non-achievement of these outcomes. So it has something to do with accurate evaluation of the progress of the student. However, Breen and Littlejohn 2000 criticized this prescriptive nature of ends-means model and propose a model which is more negotiable in nature. They view negotiation as an important component central to the language learning process itself, involving, as it does, interacting through language while negotiating meanings in a shared context. Page 94. Various different models of the process of course design, for example, Johnson, 1989, Dubin and Olstein, 1986, Richards, 1990, as cited in Tomlinson, 1998, suggest that materials design or selection should come at a later stage of the process. The sequence of course design recommended by experts who are proponents of the ends-means model may be summarized as the linear model X in figure 1. As you can see, needs analysis is on top of this diagram, goals and objectives, syllabus design, methodology, materials, testing and evaluation. And the caption is figure 1, model X, course design procedures. According to Tyler, 1949, as cited in Richards, 2001, the more specific the specification of objectives, the easier it would be to determine the sorts of activities that students could be engaged in. Tyler's approach is seen as the linear model as well as the ends-means model. The first approaches are called normative objectives, Tyler 1949, as cited in Richards 2001, and the rational instructional model, Taba 1962, as cited in Lunenberg 2011, because they provide a sequence of steps. The objectives approach is so named because the very first step in this approach is the defining of objectives of the course, program, or lesson. Tyler 1949, as cited in Richards 2001. In this approach, the school is viewed as a factory. That is a very strange simile, actually, or metaphor. Tyler states 3 important sources that must be looked at in order to contextualize and make curriculum development more relevant. These are 1, the learners and their background, 2, present and future society, and 3, knowledge of the major disciplines, especially philosophy, psychology, and sociology. Nichols and Nichols, 1972, as cited in Richards 2001, describes curriculum development as involving 4 stages. 1. The careful examination, drawing on all available sources of knowledge and information judgment of the objectives of teaching, whether in particular subject courses or over the curriculum as a whole. 2. The development and trial use in schools of those methods and materials which are judged most likely to achieve the objectives which teachers agreed upon. 3. The assessment of the extent to which the development work has in fact achieved its objectives. This part of the process may be expected to provoke new thoughts about the objectives themselves. 4. The final element is therefore feedback of all the experience gained to provide a starting point for further study. Page 40. This educational philosophy emphasizes the practical needs of learners and society and the role of an educational program in producing learners who are economically productive. People can improve themselves and their environment through a process of rational planning. Social, economic, and other needs of society can be identified and planned for by task analysis, by forming objectives for each task, and by teaching skills as discrete units. Ohrmacher, 1993, as cited in Noonan, 1989. It is an ends-means approach. Some criticism against ends-means model. Noonan, 1989, believes that there is a mismatch between what teachers are taught to do and what they actually do, because once inside the classroom, the teacher must come up with a constant flow of activities or face behavioral problems. He, 1989, states, quote, activities, or as I have called them, tasks, rather than the prescriptive ends-means model, are the major focus of the teacher's planning efforts. End quote, page 133. Inductive models provide a unique approach to curriculum making as compared to the traditional deductive models, which are linear and prescriptive. Lunenberg, 2011. A non-linear approach permits curriculum planners to enter a model at various points, skip components in the model, reverse the order, and attend to 2 or more components of the model simultaneously. Conclusion. Curriculum is viewed as an ends-means model because inside of the curriculum development process we can find the means and the end. The means that, for example, when teaching English, the final goal is that students are able to use and apply the language. That is the end. And the means, how, the vehicle actually, in the way teachers are going to allow students to get there. That is, through the language itself, because with practice we can deeply develop skills in students. And I've used these references indexed in the references section at the end of this article. I think 10 sources. Yeah, I've used 10 sources. And also you can cite this article. If you just open the page, I told you I have shared the link with you in the description area. And according to the APA style, you can just easily cite this article. And this is my author box, Dr. Mohammad Hossein Hariri Asl, and so far I've published over 3,900 posts. And I'm not the only author. As I said, there are currently 23 authors, active authors at LELB Society, and you could be the next one. And you can get the chance to publish all of your articles in your own name, and we work on the SEO, and so that actually your articles would be easily indexed on Google and other popular search engines. Okay, let me show you some specifications. This article falls into the category of TESOL issues through CAL, Computer Assisted Language Learning, and some keywords: assessment, curriculum, education, feedback, instruction, language teaching, learning, skills, and syllabus. Remember, if you just click on any one of these keywords, you will be directed to or redirected to relevant articles and posts. Let me show you some relevant posts, related lessons and posts. IELTS Writing Task 1 on migration reasons on a pie chart. Processability theory in SLA, and the role of imitation in language acquisition. Thank you so much for your attention. Hope you found it useful. Take care of yourself and see you in our next video. Bye bye everybody.